Thanks very much, Steve. I know you're not into your football, Phil, but it's amazing how many results get decided by penalties in racing now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's going that way by the looks of things, isn't it?
It's a shame. We had a few jump starts and penalties and so on from yesterday, but this morning's race, which was red flag. Let's have a look at the reason why, Phil, this was red flag. On board with Rowan Campbell-Pilling, one car off already, and there's a basically pretty big chain reaction. It goes off. The race leader goes off right in front. If you look in the distance, August Raber goes off.
Very greasy as well, and that's what's happened there. Is he's gone into the inside where it's very wet, and you can see how wet it is on the outside as well. Then got collected again by the XL cars, but yeah, unfortunately he created all that. He had that incident. He's taken himself out of the race along with the 3 XL cars as well.
Yeah, XL, as you pointed out, a huge amount of work to get all 3 cars back on the grid, which we believe they have. So here's how they line up. The Wera Tools F4 British Championship. Round 8, this a partially reversed grid. August Raber qualified 12th yesterday. He's on pole for this one. Joel Bergstrom alongside. Tommy Harfield and Rowan Campbell-Pilling on row 2. Adam Al-Azari, yesterday's race winner, on row 3 with Ethan Jeff Hall. Behind them, Leo Robinson and Theo Palmer. Martin Molnar on row 5 with Henry Jocelyn. Then it's Fionn McLaughlin and Jimmy Pazik, the championship leader. Ella Lloyd is on row 7. Chloe Chong next to her. Then it's Xavier Avramides and Cole Hewitson, followed by Chase Fernandez and Yu Hao Fu. Grid completed by Thomas Behrman, Henry Mercier, Elba Larsen, Esme Kosterman and Charlie Edge. So the F4s have had an away day since our viewers on ITV saw them at Donington Park for the opening weekend. The following weekend they were at Silverstone, part of the 24-hour meeting that was staged there. And it was a roading benefit that weekend. We'll come to that a little bit later on, but we've got an onboard with one of the championship hopefuls here, Rowan Campbell-Pilling.
Yeah, Campbell-Pilling is the one that we saw the onboard of in a second ago with the incident at the start of the race. That actually got red flagged for other reasons, so we're pleased that we're getting this race in. We were a bit sort of nervous that this might get pushed to the end of the day, or even to another weekend. But fair play to a lot of the teams. JHR and XL have both had to rebuild a lot of cars.
You were more nervous about the end of the day, though.
Well, I was, yeah, the fact of getting home. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be after the last touring car race, do we?
I'm glad they've got it on, so well done. There was a technical fault at the circuit as well, which is why the race didn't take place earlier on. It was ready to go, but some technical problems at the track meant the cars couldn't go. It wasn't actually wholly down to the red flag. The restarted race would have been red flagged anyway if communication to the marshals couldn't have been kept up. As we look at August Raber, who won the first race of the year. Great meeting we had at Donington Park. 3 different teams taking the wins at Donington, which sets us up, you know, superbly for what should be a great year. Esme Kosterman in 52 coming into line, her first time on a touring car weekend, and down behind her Charlie Edge for Chris Dittman Racing. But at the front, August Raber on the front row of the grid with Joel Bergstrom alongside in the 22 car. Then in the red, it's Tommy Harfield, Rowan Campbell-Pilling and car on the outside of row 2. We're about to go racing here at Snetterton. Keep your fingers crossed that it's all clean and tidy through the first corner. Raber gets away well. Looks like a good clean start from the first 4 to 6 rows. A little bit of a sort out happening at the back of the grid, but great stuff from Raber, who leads into Riches. Tommy Harfield goes up into second position, so Harfield up into P2. This is the first couple of corners. We'll take stock, see if anything happens here. But Raber obviously happy to be on a much drier circuit now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's managed to get it stopped for turn 2, and he's away already. But Harfield, he's already in P2. He has had a great start. He's obviously on the inside going into turn 1 and turn 2, but that's helped him massively. You can see Bergstrom and Al-Azari as well running side by side as they come through turn 3. Who's going to get the line into the next hairpin? He's just trying to squeeze him a little bit, but Bergstrom's going to have the line, but Al-Azari is now blocked up.
He did. Al-Azari was stunning yesterday, took the win, and we'll come to how he got that a little bit later on, but fighting for third place here and marking himself out as a championship contender here, Al-Azari, this weekend.
Absolutely. Fair play for him for locking up and keeping the position, because that's very easy just to go straight on there on cold tyres. So he's managed to get it stopped, get it turned, and keep his position in third place.
Yeah, and marking himself out as... There isn't a team leader at Rodin, but he's the guy scoring the point. Chase Fernandez makes a little bit of contact with Xavier Avramides, who goes around. I think there was a slight touch there, Phil. We might get a replay of that as it go along Bentley Straight.
There definitely was a touch, yeah. That was very clumsy, unfortunately. That's a very fast part of the circuit as well. So, yeah, I think Fernandez has just tried to get it down the inside. He would have taken his wing off as well. But, yeah, big contact. Loads of lockups as they go underneath the bridge, because that front left is completely unloaded. Oh, big guy, he's done it again. Another incident. How has he managed to take 2 people out in the last two corners.
It's Henry Mercier that he tagged there as well, and I think there'll be a chat with Chase in the Clerk of the Courses office. I know things are never intentional, but coincidence? Well, we'll have to see how that pans out. So it's Raber that leads by very nearly 2 seconds at the end of over 2 seconds at the end of the first lap from Tommy Harfield. Adam Al-Azhari is in P3. Here's the start.
Yeah, some great starts. No one stalled. No one had any incidents off the line. But you can see that Harfield got the best one. But this is now a replay of Fernandez just turning around Mercier. He's already had one bit of contact. You think he'd be a little bit more cautious coming up to the next car. But yeah, that he's going to definitely end up in the stewards.
So August Raber looking to be another double winner. We had a double win at Silverstone for Jimmy Pezik, who leads the championship. Now, if you're wondering where Jimmy is, he's actually starting 12th on the grid here. Was well out of the frame. He didn't even make it into the reverse grid segment for this race. Now, I know you're saying top 12. How come he's not in the reverse? And that's because Yu Haofu had a penalty, so he got taken out of that. And then got taken out in the first race start as well for this one. So Yu Hao having a double bubble disappointment. But Pezik way down, and it means the championship is going to to and fro through this meeting.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see Pezik, who was struggling a little bit coming out the last corner on the previous lap where he ran a little bit wide, but I think he just needs to get his head down. Everyone's drivers' tyres are now up to temperature, so this should now start to settle down, and hopefully there won't be any more incidents so we can get a clean race all the way to the end. But Raber is flying with the fastest lap of the race so far, and Harfield is trying to push, and we've got behind Al-Azhari, Bergstrom, Campbell-Pilling, Robinson, Jeff Hall is down in 7th. He had his first podium yesterday, so that was a good result for the Argentine Mercedes junior driver.
Finn McLaughlin's doing well. He's up into 8th place, so I know you're thinking, well, hang on, 8th place is a fair way down, but remember, he qualified on outright pole for both races 1 and 3, and has made up 4 places in this, so he'll get 4 points for the places he makes up for starters.
We're seeing a replay here. That's Charlie Edge, who's just run a little bit wide. Then he's just closed it off with one of the Excel cars. Nearly loses his wing there. We're on board now with Campbell Pilling as we're coming into turn 2. Is he going to go for a move? No, doesn't look like it. There's Leo Robinson as well. It was him and Campbell Pilling that actually had that coming together in the race earlier that actually got red flag.
Leo Robinson started in this equivalent race on pole position last year. I think he finished in 8th place, if memory serves correctly. Yuan Ping Sui won the first grid race last year, the other two being won by Alex Ninovic, who's moved up into GB3 for this year. As a good race here with Ethan Jeff Hall, and he's passed by Rowan Campbell-Pilling. Yeah, that was a good move there. You've also got McLaughlin, who's coming into this mix. He actually was leading the race yesterday, but unfortunately clipped one of those bollards under the bridge and damaged his front wing. So, yeah, unfortunately he lost a lot of place and had to get a wing change. But yeah, you can see now he's all over the back of Jeff Hall as they're going down through Williams onto the back straight. But is he going to get the slipstream now to outbrake him under the bridge? The driver behind the Red Bull car is actually Martin Molnar, and he's been probably the most consistent driver across all the races we've had so far. And he's up there with Finn McLaughlin again. And it is about winning races, and whilst Martin hasn't done that yet, the problem there, that's Al-Azhari, was it? Did it look a bit slow there? Was it Al-Azhari, was it? Yeah, he did look like he was going pretty steady. But yeah, you're right, it was Al-Azhari who's just got out of shape coming through the left, and that's put him out of position, and he's ended up on the grass, lost a position, maybe 2. Yeah, I fancied him for the win here, actually. I've got to say, after the first couple of laps, he's acquitted himself well. Al-Azhari won the reverse grid race at Silverstone. We were on Silverstone GP 3 weeks ago for these cars on a non-touring car weekend. And it was Jimmy Pezik that won the other 2 races, a road-in shutout. Just to remind you again, race 3 here last year was road-in 1, 2, 3. They locked out the entire podium in racing, so they do know their way around here. But team reputations this year seem to count for nothing, because we've got so many teams and different drivers coming to the fore at different races and circuits, which is good. Let's ride on board with Rowan Campbell-Pilling though. Yeah, as you can see, we're coming through turn 3. You've just got to clip that apex. It's slightly cambered, but then it really wants to understeer as you get on the throttle through turn 3. Then we're down into turn 4, the hairpin. We've got to brake it late, as hard as possible. Don't turn in too early. Try and get a late apex. Rotate the car. You can use a little bit of the extra track there, because there is no track limit sensor at that corner. There's inside knowledge for you. And then the next corner, it has got a sensor, so you've got to be careful not to go off the circuit. A little bit inconsistent, but that is the way
way it is around Snetterton. As you can see, we've got two cars running side by side through turn 1, which is brave, and then a big lock-up for someone into turn 2.
It's Behrman and Larson, wasn't it? Thomas Behrman up from 20th into 19th place. Elba Larson, the young Danish driver who's in F1 Academy as well this year. Chloe Chong in F1 Academy as well, but using the opportunity to come back this weekend with Rodin, which is nice to see. It brings Rodin up to full strength as well, which is good. Chase Fernandez still going. He's down in 14th at the moment. Physique not making any progress. He's in 12th place, Jimmy P. And after Silverstone, we were going, OK, there's a little bit of a pattern here with Rodin back at the top of the stack, and then Jimmy had problems yesterday, so away down. But Raber and Harfield from Bergstrom, Alazari in 4th. Who's going to be up the front end, Alazari in the fastest off the front race, which we'll get a little bit later on in the afternoon.
We can now see someone in a Rodin car just having a big moment as they come for the last corner, but all doing a great job there. It's very close further back between Alazari, Robinson, Campbell Pillin, Jeff Ball, McLaughlin, Molnar. Like you say, Molnar have done a great job as the only driver for Virtuosi, and got no data to learn from.
Absolutely,
although they did have someone out here on the Friday or the Wednesday when we had Stilpe back in the car.
Gabe Still, I saw that. Yeah, I wonder. That completely slipped my mind since seeing the testing on Wednesday. But that would have helped because Gabe was a race winner. Took his first race win at Croft last year. You might remember. As we have a quick look at Jimmy Physique, but here's our race winner, August Raber. Whilst we're looking at August, I would say that a driver really impressing me in this one is Charlie Edge, who's gone from the back to 16th, Phil.
Yeah, that is
cracking driving from Charlie Edge. Well done, mate.
And that puts him 3rd in rookies as well, so that would be great for Charlie Edge to get another rookie podium. But all right, the person on the move is definitely Harfield. He set the fastest lap of the race. Ooh. He is catching Raber. So Raber did a 50.0 on the last lap, and Harfield only a 49.9, but it was a 10th quicker, and he does look like he's catching again with his sectors lighting up the timing screen.
See whether Tommy can do it. He went away. I mean, are the judicials still going on from round 1? They very possibly may be, but Tommy Harfield was championship leader as we arrived at Silverstone. He had a little bit of a mare there, but we know that the Chris Titman racing driver has got the pace. It's been proved by the fastest lap and some cracking racing going on here.
This is Jocelyn and Palmer here. So Jocelyn in the only Fortec car against Palmer in the XL car, who's all over the back of him and looking good. Palmer actually qualified very well yesterday.
He did, yeah.
And looking forward to seeing how he gets on in race 3 of the weekend, which is he'll be starting about 5th, I think. But yeah, Jocelyn, who actually qualified 2nd, pole at Donington. He's very, very quick. He just doesn't seem to have much luck at the minute in the races.
He did a lot better yesterday, but we'll see how it pans out. And Palmer is going to be interesting to see how he does. Raber goes through. There is Harfield in 2nd, clear at the moment. Joel Bergstrom will be happy to grab a podium here. He's had some rotten luck, but 4th position looking good at the moment. Alazari coming under pressure from Leo Robinson. I've got to say, I don't think Leo has quite had the luck that he deserves. He was a quick driver last year, a race winner, but I'd have expected him to be at the sharper end of things.
Same. He's actually looking quite racy at the minute. He's just tried to put himself in Alazari's mirrors. He's doing it again as they're coming into turn 4, the hairpin. But he just needs to be careful not to make any mistakes whilst he's diving from left to right to get in his mirrors. But it's definitely working. Alazari did make a mistake through turn 3, so let's see if Leo can keep this pressure on and make up a place.
He will keep that pressure on. We'll see whether he can do it. And closing is, of course, one thing, but then you've got to outfox the driver in front to try and go through. Still half of the quickest man on the track. So Robinson was still the youngest ever race winner in juniors, in Ginetta Junior, Leo Robinson.
You're right, I think he was, yeah. He was racing, he was teammates with Freddie Slater. So he actually put on a really good move on Freddie at Silverstone one year and won his first race. But he was a good driver. He didn't quite finish the season in juniors, but he made his move to F4. And he had a great year, like you say, last year. Hasn't quite sort of capitalised on his experience this year yet, but this is starting to work for him. It feels like, I say that, he's just going to run a little bit wide, but it will set him up nicely for the braking zone of the last corner, and hopefully he'll get a good exit, get the slipstream up the hill. It's only very slightly uphill, but it is uphill as you go over the start-finish line.
Well, Harfield's done 2 better laps, and he's closing in on the race leader Raber as we watch the scrap there.
Here we go
with Alazari, and here is Harfield closing in, so he's very nearly now into challenging territory, and it's going to be a worrying moment here for Raber, seeing that red black and yellow 23 car, 21 car, closing in on him and starting to apply the pressure. Raber, though, has the advantage, I would say, psychologically, of having won the first race of the year at Donington, the Saturday race.
Absolutely, but Harfield is looking absolutely rapid at the minute, doing a 49.3 against Raber's 49.7. So Harfield, I mean, I can't believe he's in the Challenge Cup, which he's only doing 7 of the 10 rounds, I believe. But I hope he is going to find the money to be able to make sure he can do the rest of the season, because he is definitely one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. As I said, he led the championship after Donington Park. So, you know, if that's not setting your stall out to potential partners to say, come on, let's get on board for the whole year. And that's the plan. At the moment, it is the Challenge Cup, the 7 rounds, but there's nothing the driver would like more than to do the whole season and be in the shout for, you know, going for the overall honours. Now, although this is a reverse grid race, you've got outright race for pace drivers at the front, so this is, you know, by no means, if someone gets a win here, it is by no means diminished.
I think if anyone that's in the top 12 anyway is always a front runner. So yeah, these two guys have obviously been right at the front of the championship, and because it was a little bit of a greasy session yesterday in qualifying, that's why it's a little bit upside down. But those two are pushing hard at the front. They're the only two that are in the 49s. So 49.7 and 49.3, like I said. The others are doing 50.2s, 50.4s. So yeah, it could be a little bit of difference in tyres as well, because you can use your better tyres in this race without the safety for the last race. As we're on board here with Rowan Campbell-Pilling, he's just dropped off a little bit from the car in front, but he's just going to try and pick up that slipstream once again. As we watch him through turn 1, just clipping that first apex and then getting pushed away from the second one, and making sure that you don't drop off the circuit as the circuit dips in a little bit at the exit. But a little bit wider there, a little bit of a different line from the car in front going through turn 2.
Nice shot, though. It shows me, Phil, nothing else. It's hard work out there.
Oh yeah, it's hard work, all right. Yeah, these cars are not easy to drive, but these lads are doing a great job. These boys and girls are doing a fantastic job to do this, to get these cars around this track. It's a very physical circuit as well. There's always something going on. There's always either a medium speed on or a low speed on. We've just run a little bit wide there with Harfield, but he hasn't lost too much time. He might have done track limits, but he doesn't seem to have lost too much traction.
Tommy Harfield, who has brought Chris Dittman Racing into regular podium finishes, which is great. There is nothing he would like more, though, than to grab their first win. So it's Chris Dittman Racing chasing Argenti as they come down the Bentley Straight into the Brundle-Nelson complex now, and it looks like Raber has got just a little bit more breathing space down on the previous lap. Back to third. There's Joel Bergstrom, another Swede. So we've got 2 Swedes in the top 3. Alazari's next up. Then it's Robinson, Campbell-Pilling. Is Campbell-Pilling maybe under a bit of pressure from Ethan Jeff Hall? Then we've got Martin Molnar, all fairly stable at the moment. Through goes the number 20 as well, the orange and black livery of Ella Lloyd. Great to see Ella back with us this weekend as well, enjoying her F1 Academy season as well. But Larson going through the 14 car. So we go back to the leaders. They go along centre straight, which, as you say, very slightly uphill across the grid lines. These two clear. They can afford to battle, and it won't lose them that much time over Bergstrom in third place. So it's Raber, Harfield, Bergstrom. Harfield still with the fastest lap of the race again.
Yeah, he's still a little bit quicker as well on that lap, but is he going to go for a move down the inside as they go into turn 2? I think Raber was brave to turn in there. He's left him a little bit of room, but definitely Harfield was looking racy there, but he's not quite got enough room, but he's not going to be able to pass him into turn 3 because it's nearly flat out through this corner. But yeah, that was the first time we've seen him looking like he's going to make a move, and there's still over 4 minutes left. Is he going to be able to make it a move going into the break? He's too half-hearted. You need to dive down the inside to make sure you get the move done.
Lunge.
Yes, a big lunge, that's what we want to see. Into the slower corners, we want to see lunges.
Tommy Harfield wants to finish the race, though, and a P2 is better than a DNF, so there'll be that in his mind as well, particularly championship-wise. So he wants to get up into the top 5, but he's got the pace, and he's showing Raber that he is keen to race here. Raber knows he's got to be a little bit defensive now.
Yes, he does, and he probably shouldn't have sort of shown his nose or show where he's intending to try and pass just yet, because that was only just showing that he's intending to try there maybe on the next lap, but we'll see further back. That's a lunge. That's
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier's just managed to get down the inside there. A nice move, nice late braking, late move going into turn 2.
That was on Elba Larson, so that was for 20th place. Esme Kosterman, the next target for Avramidis, who will try and work his way through. Harfield just drops back a little bit now, 3 minutes to go on the clock. Now I wonder, you know, we see a lot of slipstream racing, and sometimes being in the lead is not the right thing to be on as you go onto the last lap. And I'm wondering whether Harfield is thinking about timing a move here.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's he definitely dropped back a little bit there. So now what he needs to do is pick up this slipstream, which is what he's done. He's starting to. It's windy today as well, so it will help him if he's tucked up the gearbox of the car in front. But will he be able to make this move into turn 2? He needs to stay behind him to the last second. He's already started to cover it, Raver. So he needs to be careful not to make any contact, as he nearly did there. And then his next opportunity is turn 4.
Great guys, both of these drivers, and Tommy Harfield is such a shy and reserved driver. And
he's now skateboarding down the exit curb. So unfortunately, yeah, he's going to have lost a lot of time there, as he won't have had any tyres on any wheels and tyres on the circuit at that point, as he was literally the middle of the car was in was down that curve. So he has lost a little bit of time, which is unfortunate, because I think his next possible opportunity to pass was going into that turn 4.
Yeah, it's a shame that's gone, but this again will be really good confidence building for the driver of the 21 car. So he's running well. Raver will be pleased to grab another win. He's had a fastest off the front win, and he's had a reverse. And this year has been really bizarre, because we've had drivers winning both, and you tend to get not surprises, but first-time winners in reverse grid races. We haven't had that this year. It's been so competitive, this championship this year. Got the added bonus coming up, of course, which we'll talk about later on, of the Grand Prix support for the cars, not the championship. It's a non-championship race, but 2 races at the British Grand Prix for F4. Well, I hope most of these drivers are going to be racing, and looking forward to very much to seeing that. Raber now, though, he's got a little bit of a gap, 1:45 on the clock, so he's running well. Joel Bergstrom is going to be happy to get JHR up onto the podium. Al-Azhari 4th. There was Leo Robinson, Ryan Campbell-Pillings too, so it's all been fairly calm now as they go on to the last lap. Let's see what Tommy Harfield has got in the armoury on the last lap. Closes up as they go down to Riches, but it's August Raber who is leading this one at the moment. Our Genty driver heading perhaps for the win. Let's see how close the 21 car could get. Jinx out again, too far back, Phil.
Yeah, it's too far back, and Raber knew that as well, so that's why he didn't defend the position, because he had a good run through turn 1. He wasn't scared, he knew exactly where he was in the mirrors, so he didn't defend, which is a good bit of driving from Raber. But let's see if Harfield can get a good run through turn 3 without running too wide. That was better. We didn't run wide there on that lap. So let's see if he is going to try and make a last-minute lunge into turn 4. It looks like he's too far back. As you can see, Raber just locking up very slightly. Harfield's closer once again. He maybe has another opportunity coming into turn 6, which is not this one. This is the one that's pretty much flat out. It doesn't, again, look like he's close enough. Now, his next best chance is going under the bridge. Now, can he get a good exit coming out onto the back straight, get a slipstream and try and throw it down the inside, going under the bridge? Again, it doesn't look like he's close enough.
Not a good enough run, was it, out of Williams, but onto the bridge they go, under the bridge they go now, into Brundle, Nelson, formerly known as the S's here at Snetterton, and Raber. Oh, here comes the move. He has a look, but again he's too far back. But he's giving Raber a real workout here, and you can see from the lockup, you called it, Phil, he's really being made to work hard.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's trying to go down the inside of the bomb hole there, which is a flat out corner. He probably shouldn't have done that, because now he's lost momentum. He's got one more braking zone coming into the last corner, but it's slightly on a bend as well, so as long as Raber just keeps it all clean, he should be able to win this race.
He should be able to. What sort of a run? Out of Murray's, can the second place car get? The answer is it's not enough, and it's Raber who's going to have a Raber party as they go across the line to take the checkered flag, and coming out of the slipstream is Harfield who gets P2. Fair play, lads. That was a great race between the pair of you. Joel Bergstrom is back on the podium, so 2 Swedes and a young English driver on the podium. Adam Al-Azhari is next up. Leo Robinson goes across the line in 5th, and Rowan Campbell-Pilling completing our top 6.
Superb bit of driving from those 2 front runners there. That was absolutely textbook there from the 2 of them. No mistakes from either of them. No contact. A great drive from the 2 of them. And then Bergstrom again, like you say, in P3. But here we go. We've got Mercier making a move there on Larson. So yeah, after his spin out from the contact with Fernandez earlier in the race, he's fighting his way back up. But yeah, great race.
And actually better that we had it under settled conditions rather than the half damp. There were decisions taken in the original start this morning where some drivers went on. It wasn't going to be a dry race. Genty boys happy with their race winner. Yeah, it was much more settled having that dry race than the mixed conditions that we had earlier on. So round 8 of the Wera Tools F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. The win goes to August Raber, second win of the year. Tommy Harfield in second from Joel Bergstrom and Adam Al-Azhari. Leo Robinson takes fifth. Sixth position goes to Rowan Campbell-Pilling. Seventh was Ethan Jeff Hall. Rookie winner, he won't be overly happy with that, is Fionn McLaughlin. He wants to be up at the sharp end. Ninth goes to Martin Molnar. Second rookie was Theo Palmer on his BTCC weekend debut. 11th goes to Henry Jocelyn from Jimmy Pizzique. Chloe Chong in 13th ahead of Ella Lloyd. Then it was Chase Fernandez and Thomas Behrman who completes the rookie podium. Charlie Edge just seen out there off the rookie podium. He's in 17th from Cole Hewitson. Esme Kosterman in 19th. Xavier Avramidis worked his way back into 20th place ahead of Henry Mercier. Had a great race there right to the end with Alba Larson and Yu Hao Fu, the final race finisher. So we need to tot the points up now. Here's how the standings look after round 8. August Raber, now the championship leader from Jimmy Pizzique. Fionn McLaughlin not too far behind in third from Martin Molnar. Then Tommy Harfield, Adam Al-Azhari in sixth, Ethan Jeff Hall and Thomas Behrman. Then it's Rowan Campbell-Pilling and Henry Jocelyn wrapping up our top 10. In the rookies, it's McLaughlin that holds sway just about over Thomas Behrman. 13 points between the pair of them, with Xavier Avramidis in third. And the Challenge Cup, headed by Charlie Edge. Well done, Charlie. Head of Tommy Harfield. Elba Larson is in third. Gives us loads to look forward to later on with race 3, where we'll see the fastest drivers off the front and some championship battles ensuing. But you've got to bear in mind that Jimmy Pizzique is starting, I think, down in 13th place, 12th or 13th place for that one. So the erstwhile championship leader with a huge amount of work to do. But again, terrific that we're seeing different drivers coming to the fore, and a great win for the young Swede there, August Raber. Tommy Harfield getting out of his car as well. And our congratulations to our podium finishers, and we'll catch up with them in just a couple of